Welcome back, everyone. The fourth Grand Slam of the year. Where has the year gone? It has flown by. And we are giving you today our predictions for the US Open on the men's and the women's side. Let's get straight into it. Jaya, who are you backing on the men's side?
Sam, I'm going for a very informed player in the form of Alexander Zverev, the young German, 24 years of age. And he's had a phenomenal sort of mid to end season at the moment.
He really has. He's been in form. He did well at the Olympics, winning the gold medal. Am I right there, Jaya?
Absolutely, Sam. Yeah, he won the gold medal at the Olympics. He's actually in the finals of Cincinnati as well, taking out Stefanos Tsitsipas, and we know how good a player he is and the season he's had. So he's definitely one to watch out for at the US Open.
What do you think Jaya Zverev's got to do to get all the way? Because we know he's in real form at the moment. I think he's going to cause real problems for many players at the US Open coming up. What do you think he's got to do to go all the way and win the fourth Grand Slam of the year?
Well, we've seen that Zverev hasn't actually done that well in Grand Slams up until last year when he got to the final of the US Open. So I just feel like at 24 years of age, he's just starting to mature a little bit. He's starting to find his own way, find his feet. He's got a lot of 1,000 Masters to his name and a few other smaller tournaments. So he knows how to work his way through the draw. He's just got to take one match at a time, not get ahead of himself. And he's going to be a high-ranked player in the tournament. So that ranking is going to protect him against the other big names early on in the tournament, which is good for him. So it's important that he just gets through the early rounds, not use too much energy, play his game, and keep his head down. Then when he gets to the later rounds, he's going to be ready for those top names like Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Djokovic, and the rest of them all.
Absolutely, Jai. And you mentioned one of them there who, a little hint, might be my prediction to win the tournament outright on the men's side. We'll see how Zverev does. I think that's a very good prediction. As I say, you've always got to look at who is in form. The form does not lie, and that gives him such an edge going into the Grand Slam at New York. So we're looking forward to it. We'll see how we get on. Let's move on then to my prediction on the men's side. We've mentioned this player before on the channel. Medvedev is my prediction on the men's side, Jaya.
Sam, I love Daniel Medvedev. I think he's such an exciting player to watch. You never know what you're gonna watch unfold on the tennis court with him, and he always has something for the highlights reel at the end of the match. But what do you reckon Daniel Medvedev possesses that's going to cause a bit of an upset and maybe win a Grand Slam at the US Open?
Well, on a hard court, we know the tennis ball travels that bit faster. And I think he's got so much power to his game. He reads the ball, reads the play incredibly well. He's an all-round player. He moves superbly. And again, we mentioned before about his mental edge, which he's got in abundance. He's such a determined tennis player. He's been around now for quite a few years, at the age of 25, the Russian. And I just think second in the world at the moment behind Novak Djokovic, who again will be a massive threat following a disappointing Olympics for Djokovic. But I do feel like Medvedev is going to go all the way and claim the Grand Slam, the last one of the year.
Sam, I think that's a great prediction. You mentioned how he has a lot of power, but I also think he's so good at neutralizing power from his opponents as well. And he's not scared to just rally and wait for opportunities. And he just looks like such an annoying player to play against. I wouldn't want to play against him myself.
Oh, absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare, wouldn't it, to take on him. And it's almost like you watch him play. It's a different style, isn't it? He just seems so relaxed. And then suddenly, bang, he can pull the trigger. And comes out with winners from all angles on the tennis court. He is also a very good hard court player. Let's not forget that. So two of his last three sort of titles have come on a hard court in Canada and in Marseille. So he is someone who is superb on a hard court. And that, I just have a little sneaky feeling that Daniel Medvedev is going to be a major threat at the US Open this year. Don't forget, for everyone watching at home, check out our double series, which shows you, again, all of our tips, tactics, techniques on how to improve the game of doubles, which we know is so popular around the world. Jaya, let's move on then to the women's side. at the US Open in New York. Who are you going for to win outright?
I'm going for an American player in the form of Sophia Kenin. She's ranked number 5 in the world right now, and I just feel like this could be a little bit of a breakthrough moment. She has won a Grand Slam before, back in 2020 at the Australian Open, so she knows how to win a Grand Slam. Hasn't done it in a little while. She hasn't had the best results this year, but I just feel playing on home soil with the US crowd, we know how much they can get behind their home favourites. And at the last Grand Slam of the year, I think she's got every chance as much as everybody else. But I do see her hopefully winning the title.
What would you say are her main strengths? I mean, what's going to give her the edge, do you think, to get through? You know, the women's side is very unpredictable. It would be fair to say. What do you think gives her the edge?
Well, Sam, she's got that character. She's got that charisma on the court. She's such an exciting player to watch. The way that she just gets herself motivated and sort of just livens herself up between points. And I think that just really helps her to reset mentally as well, especially if she's down in points or games. She can just focus on the next point. She has a very strong mentality on the tennis court. And I think that really does help a lot in tennis matches, as we've seen so many times, especially with Daniil Medvedev, like you said. So great game, great all-round game. She possesses a great sort of shot variety, but also a bit like Daniil Medvedev as well, great at neutralizing the more power shots that she receives as well. So I think on a hard court, she could be pretty dangerous. And as long as she stays patient and hungry, I think that US Open could be hers.
I think that's a great prediction, Jai. We will see how she gets on. And like you say, a home favourite. You know, we know how much the Americans get behind their players at the US Open. There is such an atmosphere in all the stadiums at the US Open at Flushing Meadows. So it's going to be exciting to see how she gets on. Do you want to hear my prediction on the women's side?
Of course, Sam, go for it.
Naomi Osaka. We know she's had a tough year following her withdrawals from many of the Grand Slams, obviously the Olympics as well, following her mental health issues. So I think for her, she's going to come back onto court. I think that break that she's had is really, really going to help her. We know how important it is to look after your mental health. And I feel like for her, she's going to come back stronger. She's going to come back fighting, and I'm backing her to win the US Open coming up in New York.
Sam, I think that's a great prediction. I mean, for those sort of players out there who aren't maybe, following the professional circuit all the time, I mean, just give them an insight into how important your mental health is as a tennis player or as an athlete in general. Well,
you look at how much you've got to concentrate on a tennis court. We always talk about how much you've got to be in the moment to play your best tennis. And if you're not there, if you're not feeling 100%, you can't give it. You can't give it all. And so she's under huge pressure. We look at social media right now. Obviously for us, we have obviously our coaching clients contact us, but we can't imagine having that. We're talking millions of followers. Her phone's going to be going off 24/7. It must be difficult. Obviously, she's got a strong team around her to help, but it must be hard having to deal with all of that side of things. And again, the pressure. She's got her fans back in Japan. She's worshipped back there. And as I say, there's a huge amount of pressure. And I think unless you've been in that position, I think you don't know how to deal with it. And again, you look at the team, they're so important, her family, her friends, everyone around her, just to help her get back on track and become what we know, the player that she is. And I feel like she's going to do very well at the US Open. She won it last year. She won it in 2018 as well. So she's got a great track record on the hard courts. And yeah, I feel like she's going to get a lot of the fans are going to be behind her quite a bit as well. So Naomi Osaka, Jaya, is who I am going for the final Grand Slam, our final Grand Slam prediction as well. The 23-year-old is who I'm backing to win the last Grand Slam of the year. We would love to hear from you. So please do leave your comments. Who are you backing on the men's side and the women's side? We have to give a little mention out to Nadal, who unfortunately has pulled out with an injury, unfortunately. So he will be back, we hope, next year in 2022. Djokovic, obviously, again, we'll see how he gets on. Again, we can't leave the video without mentioning Novak Djokovic, so he will be one to watch as well. I think we both mentioned Jaya. He was obviously, we can, you know, he's always going to be in our thoughts when we mention the men's outright winner. But we'll see how we get on. So stay tuned for more videos coming out. We're going to be bringing you hopefully some commentary, some live stream videos in the future. Do us a big favor as well. Please hit that like button. That will obviously help us reach more tennis fans out there. If you're new to our channel as well, hit that subscribe button and obviously make sure notifications are turned on. The two of us will be back again for our predictions video. Podcast as well will be coming up with our special guest Niels. He'll be back joining us too. In the meantime, enjoy all the tennis at the US Open starting on Monday, the 30th of August, running through until Sunday, the 12th of September. Jaya,